Hello everyone, this is Lyle bringing you a Let's Talk. This is something new to my channel. It's going to be where I just talk about what's going on in my life to something that's going on in the news to, let's say, a TV show for starters. So I'll be talking about Game of Thrones. I'll be spending around 5 to 7 minutes on this. We'll just see how long it goes. I'm not 100% sure on the time, but let's begin. So this is going to be talking about Season 7, Episode 3, aka The Queen's Justice. So let's start with the beginning. Jon Snow finally landing at Dragonstone. So they pass a lot of time between this episode and the last episode because Jon Snow in the last episode was in the north and now he's in the south at Dragonstone. So some time has passed, but he's greeted by Tyrion and Missandei. So it's gonna be he's greeted by those two and plus some Dothraki. Um, Tyrion and him exchange some snarky comments to each other, and then Missandei has the Dothraki take their weapons and their boat away. The Dothraki are very intimidating at this point. They're like all up in his face. It's like, yeah, what you gonna do about this? And as you see them walking towards Dragonstone, you can kind of see some of the guards in the background. It's like, really? Is this what's going on? Why are they treating us like this? So it's something that's not very hospitable of them to do. But as they're walking up to Dragonstone Castle, they're also greeted with some dragons, and Sir Davos and Jon Snow just kind of hit the deck. They're like, wait, what's going on? Is there a dragon? That is a dragon. Dragons are actually real. And you just see the terror on their face. It's one of the greatest things ever. So they finally get into the Dragonstone castle and the long-awaited scene of Queen Daenerys and Jon Snow being in the same room. I just want to just say, after how many seasons have we waited for this? And it finally has happened. They're in the same room. Just take a moment and I had to take a moment when I was watching this, like, they're in the same room. This is amazing. And then, of course, everything just kind of everything went south. It's just like, well, negotiations broke down, and, well, they're not enemies, but they're not friends. But Queen Daenerys lost her armies, lost at least one of her armies, so she's now starting to need Jon Snow a little bit more, and Jon Snow needs the the dragon glass, and her armies to help defeat the Night Walkers. So there's going to be mutual needs of each other that will keep them together and won't let them be enemies. So there's at least that, and Queen Daenerys has allowed Jon Snow to mine dragon glass, so that's always a plus, and I really can't wait to see how their alliance and their mutual friendship kind of grows and takes off from here. So let's go ahead and, as we're talking about character development, let's go ahead and talk about Sansa Stark. I can pretty much safely say that everyone hated her for the first 3 seasons. I felt like she was the one that caused half the bad things to go wrong and to happen to the House of Stark. And it's like, really, Sansa? Really? Really? You're gonna do this? But now, once it's finally reached season 7, she's kind of BA. She's just taking charge and she's actually good at it. I guess after being that bad for that long, you get some experience. And she now has that experience. And I do really love how Littlefinger's his little quote into this episode. You gotta be fighting all the battles in your mind. There can't be any battles you have left unthought about. Even if you win this battle, what's going on to how are you gonna win the next? How are you gonna win the next after that? Every possibility has to be explored. I just kind of really love how he puts that into Sansa's mind as her brother comes in, who can see everything. So I'm not gonna go ahead and talk too much about him. He's a important role. He's a three-eye raven, but as of right now, he's not too much part of that episode. Besides, he's here now. So let's go ahead and go on to Highgarden, Jaime Lannister. This is gonna be one of the final things I hit on. I might go ahead and hit on the Greyjoys as well. But Jaime Lannister, he moves from defending Casterly Rock, which Tyrion thought he was going to defend, to taking Highgarden. And completely, let's just go ahead and call this the Battle of the Cutscene. Because that's all it was just a cutscene. You didn't see a single arrow, you didn't see a single drawn sword for this battle. You just see the marching rolling on up, and then it's like, yo, we're here. Now this castle is ours. And you see Jaime Lannister go into where Olenna Tyrell is. They have some exchanges. She pretty much calls Cersei a witch and her child a, well, not some nice things, and admits that she killed Jaime's son, as she already drank the poison, so he couldn't do anything about it. Not you torture or anything along those lines. So, but you do see how Jaime Lannister is starting to kind of not necessarily doubt, but seeds of doubt has been put into him, so, like kind of like, hey, your sister is not the greatest, and she's planning on marrying Greyjoy after the war, so. And you also see that he's not enjoying them being together as much. So hopefully he starts separating from Cersei, because I really do like Jaime Lannister, I just don't like Cersei, so they need to split. So let's go ahead and talk about the Greyjoys, especially Theon Greyjoy. He gets saved, and they're like, hey, where's your sister? And he's like, I tried to save her. And they're like, no, you didn't. If you tried to save her, you wouldn't be here. And that he just kind of gets made fun of. And now, the Greyjoy is gonna get, now Cersei has promised to marry the king of the Greyjoys. So there's that now. So this is gonna be my little talk on this. My favorite part was obviously when Jon Snow meets Queen Daenerys. My second was when Sansa was just taking control and she's really becoming like a badass now, so that's really great. And my third is the Highgarden scene. I don't really like some of Tyrion's advice that he has given recently, not necessarily in this episode, but how his battle plan was. He took it into the fact that he's facing Cersei, but he should have known that he wasn't actually facing Cersei on the battlefield. He should have realized that he was facing his brother, Jaime Lannister, and he should have planned accordingly, and not how Cersei would have fought, but how Jaime would have fought. I think that's some of the bad advice that he did for army movements, and I believe if he would have done that, if he would have taken account that he was facing his brother instead of Cersei, he could have saved many people's lives and potentially an entire army. So, been kind of disappointed in that, but that wasn't this episode, that was previous episodes. It's just something I've been thinking about recently. So, there's my thoughts on Game of Thrones, the Queen's Justice. Also, let's go ahead and talk about the Queen's Justice. He was able to capture Indra Verma, the person who killed Cersei's daughter, and she was able to kill the Varma's daughter in front of her, and it was kind of justice. You also get the justice as Olenna Tyrell also dies because she also killed a son of Cersei as well. So you kind of see that justice has been laid down on two people who have opposed Cersei, and she's finally got justice for those deaths. That's also, I want to say, a major point of that. That's why the episode's called that. I wanted to hit on that before I closed out. Alright, thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have anything you want me to talk about, put that in the comments. I will definitely read those and comment back. If you wouldn't mind, you could hit that subscribe button and that like. Alright, have a great day, guys, and have a good one.